And she's joining me right now. Gabrielle, are you there?
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me.
So, I got the chance to play some of your songs. Chicken Flag. I played that. Definitely enjoyed it. Awesome song. And, uh,
Thank you.
I've been following you on Instagram for quite some time. I think you may
Yes,
have
sir.
heard of me through another artist or something like that. That usually happens
Yes,
soon in there.
yes, sir.
Before I get into the usual questions and whatnot, how's everything holding with you during this quarantine times that we are in?
It's good. I've been bouncing around a little bit between my place in Nashville and my parents' house in Alabama. Just trying to do music as best as I can in this time. It's all a little different right now.
One thing about the pandemic is affected all of us in some way, shape, or form. For the music industry in
Yeah.
particular, it's artists not being able to perform, not
Mhm.
being able to do things that they had originally planned. Um, they have to find other ways to get themselves out there. At least there's some states reopening
Mhm.
bars and venues and artists to get to perform again. Um, So, so how are you feeling with things starting to reopen? Do you feel comfortable getting back to the stage, or are you just still holding out for now?
I mean, I feel like taking the proper precautions when we're out is absolutely important.
Yeah.
Um, Not being reckless with it, but I'm definitely excited to get back on stage and start playing to a live audience again rather than live streams or singing to a camera. So that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Uh, so how did you get started into music, being an artist? How did it start off for you?
Yeah, so I've been singing pretty much my whole life. My parents put me in church choir as a kid. I kind of started there. And then when I was 14, I saved up money and bought myself a guitar and started writing. And my mom was like, "Okay, I guess you're like really serious about this." So she got me in guitar lessons, and I started making trips to Nashville when I was 16, 17, and then my what would have been my senior year of high school, I talked to my parents and I was like, if I really want to do this as a career, I feel like I need to be in Nashville full time and really be in it and working on it. So I did my last year of high school online and moved up in February of 2018, and I've been up there writing and playing and networking there since.
It says on your bio, and this is very fascinating, that you have written over 150 songs.
Yes, sir.
Not
Yeah,
fit,
that's been.
not five, not 50, 150 songs. Wow.
Yeah, I just hit the ground running when I got to Nashville. Trying to, I have a day job, as everybody has to have at this point. Um, so the days that I'm not working at my day job, I am trying to write. So I normally have writes scheduled 2 to 3 times a week. So it's busy, but I love it.
Hey, whatever makes you happy, whatever keeps you going, more power to you. It just shows that this is what you want to do, and some people are willing to do more than others, and you go that route, and I respect that. Uh, so with Nashville, it is. the mecca of country music, obviously, and
Mhm.
it is a big fish, a big pond, as it pertains
It is.
to musicians like yourself, getting yourself heard and everything. So, from your time being there thus far, how would you describe the scene as far as the artists, if you're seeing the artists that you have networked with, that you perform alongside with? How would you describe your experience in the Nashville local music scene thus far?
I've always said pretty much since after moving there for a few months, you kind of once you're in it, you feel it. Nashville is a small town to be such a big city, and I mean, everybody knows everybody, and if you don't know that specific person, you probably know 3 to 5 people in common with that person. So it's a very welcoming town to network in, to meet people in, to collaborate with other artists in. And on top of that, it's a city full of extremely talented people. So it's always pushing you to be better, to do your best. So it's a very, I love it. It's I I feel like home when I'm there. It's an amazing city.
Shout out to Nashville for what
Yeah.
they do. Everybody talks about the mainstream artists that's there, and that's cool. More power to them. They get plenty of airplay, plenty of recognition, accolades, and whatnot. And with everything happening these past 5 to 6 to 7 months, with these big name artists not being able to perform, all I'm saying is there's a whole lot of talented local independent artists out there that I think you
Mhm.
may need to give a listen to. Um, who knows? You may like it. You know. It's kind of like you being a kid. Your parents tell you to eat your vegetables. And you may not like it at first, but it makes you feel good. Makes you feel real good. Uh, so you got your latest song, "Hear My Heart." Is on all digital music platforms. I played that a little bit earlier. Definitely enjoyed the song. You actually
Thank
have done 3 songs. Checker Flag, I played that earlier as well. I enjoyed that song as well.
you.
But for
Thanks.
this, for the latest song, "Half My Heart," what was that
Mhm.
like recording that song, and what's it all about?
Yeah, this song had a very interesting journey. Hear My Heart. I had written about a half of the song, and I had gotten stuck, and I had started writing it because I was kind of in the middle of the situation, just kind of trying to process. And I had written about half the lyrics, and I got stuck, and I left it alone, and I revisited it a few times, and I just couldn't kind of push past that block. So I brought it into a co-write that I had scheduled, and I was like, listen, I have this half of a song. I really think it could be something cool, but I'm stuck. And my co-writer that day had the exact same situation. Had written about a half a song, happened to be pretty much on the same subject. And so we just sat down, and the lyrics that he had and the lyrics that I had, we just kind of wove them together into what you now hear as "Hear My Heart." So it had a very, very cool, kind of unique journey for the creation of that one.
So, "Hear My Heart" by Gabrielle Metz is available on all digital music platforms. Give it a stream, give it a purchase, show your support. I see you have some more music on the way. From my understanding, you have a new song that might be coming out around time to fall.
Yes, it is scheduled to come out on October the 2nd. That is Thin Ice.
All right, definitely looking forward to that. And for people that wants to learn more of your music, as far as social media, website, etc. Why don't you go ahead and promote your social media links?
Yeah, absolutely. So everybody can find me on Instagram at Gabrielle Metz Music. My Twitter, my Facebook are Gab Metz Music. That's GABMETZ. And then I'm on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, anywhere you get your music. You can just search my name, Gabrielle Metz, and I'm right there. And then you can also visit my website, GabrielleMetz.com, for all the latest information and new music.
So go check it out, GabrielleMetz.com, for all things Gabrielle Metz. And please support your local artists out there, especially during this pandemic. Spread the word about these artists on social media. Do what you can, and please give them that support. So, who do you consider your musical influences? Those artists that have inspired you. It could be mainstream artists. It could be fellow local independent artists. But who do you consider your influences as an artist?
So I feel like I listen to pretty much any type of music. I'm not picky. If it has a good vibe and good lyrics, I'll listen to it. So mainstream wise, growing up, it was all over the map. I mean, anywhere from like Carrie Underwood and Keith Urban to my parents played like the Temptations and that kind of stuff. So it was all across the map growing up. So I have a little bit of influence from all across the board. As for fellow artists, people that just kind of keep me inspired to do this daily, that we kind of, I feel like, are doing this together, are, Patrick Carpenter, Christy Huff, who's out of LA. They've both got fantastic music. And the neat thing about Nashville is with your fellow artists, you all just start doing life together and you start creating music together, and you kind of keep each other going and keep each other motivated and keep each other kind of creating. And it's a fantastic environment. So I feel like I get influences from my fellow artists as much as I get them from mainstream.
Well, Gabrielle, it was great chatting with you, having you on the show. I appreciate you for calling in. Continued success.
Thank you so much.
And we'll definitely keep an eye on the new song. Be on the lookout for in the fall. GabrielleMetz.com. That's Metz with a Z in the end, not the S like the baseball team, the Mets. Just the Metz, METZ. Great having you on. Thank you again for your time. Continued success, and I'd love to chat with you again in the future.
Thank you very much for having me.